Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the live stream. Trying out the new sounds that they added. Hope everybody's doing well. I am Jared Ross, the GeneaVlogger, and welcome to a GeneaVlogger live stream. I hope everyone's having a good Friday today, or a wonderful Friday. I guess Good Friday is a whole different thing. But yeah, I look a little glitchy, so I'm going to edit that, but hope everyone is doing well. Let's see which way I should go. Let's see, how's that look? That looks good. We'll stick with. Oh wait, no, I'm like, oh wow, never mind. That's not good. Let's keep editing that. But I hope everyone is doing well. This is going to be another question live stream, so if you have questions, be sure to put them in chat. As always, if you do a super sticker question, I guarantee that I answer those. Yeah, for some reason, today's been a little weird with getting started because they here we go. They reset everything on me, I guess because of updates or something, or I don't know what it was, but I came in here and they had everything completely reset on my settings. So all my stuff is in here. It's just I had to reset it up. So I'm still discovering things that are off. So excuse me if I'm getting off to a little bit of a slow start. But oh yeah, they completely changed it. Let's see, what did they do? I think it was it this? Let's see. I can't tell. I don't know if that was the style. Wow, they really changed it. I think that might have been what I had, but it definitely wasn't blue. Why is it blue? Yeah, I have my. Oh my gosh, they really screwed it all up. No. I think that's it. I think that was it. Wow. Yeah, they really reset everything. I wonder what that is. All right. Well, hello. We'll do our hellos. Hello, Eve. Hello, Stig. Hello, Anna. Having busy Fridays, I'm preparing 2 different talks for this upcoming week. October is Italian Heritage and German Heritage Month, and Rochester was settled by both groups. Very cool. Well, I hope those talks go well, and you'll have to let us know how they go. Hello, Julia. Hello, Tay Tay. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Nick. Hoi hoi. Ik hoop dat alles goed met jou. Hello, PZ. Hello, Emilis. Hello from Scotland. All right. And hello, D. Lancaster. And hello, Mom. Hello, Albuquerque Bobcat. Good to see you. Trying out a quicker way of going through hellos. I don't know if anyone noticed the comments on the last live stream of someone that was like 6 minutes and you're still saying hello. And I was like, yeah, I do take a long time to say hello. So maybe I'll do it a little quicker. So, but hello, everybody. Looks like we're getting some questions coming in. So let's see. Jackson Jordan. Is 75% European, 25% non-European enough to be considered multiracial? I mean, I guess so. I think, in my opinion, everyone's technically multiracial. So, I don't know. It comes down to how do you define multiracial, and for me, those sorts of questions when it comes to genealogy and ancestry aren't something that's always on my mind. I always just think of something as you descend from all of these various ancestries. And I know a lot of people have questions of, well, does that mean I can call myself this or do I call myself that? And it's like, that's a whole different thing. So yeah, but I mean, if you have, if you have 3/4 of your ancestry from one continent and another quarter from a whole different continent, I think that's pretty multiracial. So yeah, I don't know. All right, Jamie Jewell. I want to find out about someone in the Ukraine, a famous historian, Mikhailo Dragon. I'm not sure where to look. Family search is not helping too much. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about this person. Let's see, Mikhailo. Okay, so there's like a Wikipedia page and stuff about them. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't necessarily know the best places to look. I mean, if you're trying to do if you're trying to do genealogical research on this person, then you'll probably want to utilize the Ukraine Wikimedia website, which has a lot of records available on it. Let's pull it up and share. So hold on un momento, por favor. So this is the Wikimedia page for the Ukrainian archives. Lots of stuff on here. I'm going to post this in chat. Let me translate. Basically, let's see, where's he from? Ukrainian historian in Tistanovsk in Lviv Oblast. Okay. So Lviv Oblast. We're going to go in here, and then it's just a matter of going through stuff. So depending on what type of work he did and anything like that, you just go through these records so that you might be able to find stuff here. I will say that Family Search is a place where I would expect people to be able to find. Sorry, it really screwed this all up, didn't it? Oh wow, I can't believe how much it reset everything. All right, I need to go in and edit a little bit more layouts. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit it another time then. That's ridiculous. Which one is that? I'm sorry, people. I'm really sorry. This is Ridiculous. All right, there we go. That way bigger. Boom. Okay. There we go. Maybe. No, that's too big. This is really annoying. I can't believe they reset everything like that. That's so stupid. So stupid. All right. This update layout. All right. I think that's decent. That's decent. But what I was saying is Family Search is actually going through Ukraine and digitizing records. They signed a contract with the State Archives of Ukraine, which is headed by a guy named Anatoly Kromov, who I actually had the chance to meet very briefly at RootsTech this previous year. Speaking which, I'll be at RootsTech this coming year. So if you haven't checked out RootsTech, definitely check it out. Maybe we'll talk about it more in the stream. But anyway, they're going through, they are digitizing a lot of stuff. And so a lot of those records are going to become available on Family Search through just searching, but a lot of them may already be available just as indexes. So what I mean by that is not that it's indexed and you can search that index. I mean that it's just digitized and then you just have to go in and find if there's any physical indexes that they've digitized in their catalogs. I think I'm actually kind of mixing up a few things I'm trying to mention. I'm so thrown off by everything with the way they set it up. I'm sorry, everybody. Basically, Family Search may have stuff for you. You just have to go into the catalogs, look further into it. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's continue. Douglas, it would so nice if DNA test companies would integrate securely and simply in genealogy programs. Yeah. And or since Ancestry already allow attaching DNA to individuals in the program, show possible logic errors. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much more that we could get out of a lot of the DNA testing and genealogy if a lot of these companies would work more, especially with third-party tools. And I mean, just the fact of when Ancestry released that or released the shared match update with Pro Tools, everybody was going wild for it because it made such a big difference. But that's something that's been around on other sites for a long time. And it's something that people have said. I've been saying it for a long time. I wish we could have that same thing on Ancestry where we could see how much we're matching our match and how much our match is matching the shared matches, because it makes a huge difference. And there's other stuff too, like the chromosome browser. Oh my gosh, there's so much we could get out of a chromosome browser on Ancestry that, I mean, it's crazy to think if they ever release that, what type of discoveries will be made. Because we're still seeing people discover so many new things just from that shared match release. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that they could really do. Albuquerque Bobcat. I'm publishing my first book November 3rd about local Socorro, New Mexico land grant families. Have you published a book? And if you do, what do you consider to be the best ways of promoting the book? I have not published a book. It's something that I do want to do. I have a lot of different book ideas, both very practical tutorial-like books, as well as kind of more like, fictional stuff. So I don't have the experience in promoting the books, but a lot of my YouTuber buddies have done books. Matt Baker from Useful Charts, I should say, Mr. Beat, Max Miller. I'm trying to think if anybody else that I'm friends with has done a book from YouTube. But either way, a lot of them, they have YouTube, and so a lot of it has been YouTube promotion for their books, which is probably the way I would go if I was promoting it. But that's also because I have a YouTube following. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any best practices, I guess. I'm just kind of rambling. But very interesting. Yeah, I definitely do want to write a book. Something that's always been on my mind. It's just a matter of finding the time and figuring out what I would do. So it'd be cool if a publisher approached me, though. That'd kind of give me a bit more fire under the whatever to get going. Jamie, the Wikipedia page, the person who posted the picture said it's from their family album. I wish I could find out this person's name. Oh, well, if they posted it on Wikipedia, then you go into the history of Wikipedia and you look into it. You might not get the info there, but then you can use whatever information is there to try to track them down further. So, yeah, I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. Go Dogs. Does Scottish English DNA normally mean the British Isles? I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, for if we're talking DNA match results or not match results, excuse me, DNA admixture percentage results, then yeah, if you get stuff that's Scottish or English, you can kind of consider it British Isles just because it might be more than just Scotland or England. You know, it might be Welsh, could be Cornish, could be Irish, could be something different, could be, honestly, you could even think of it as well, generally Northwestern European, which is something I talk about all the time when it comes to DNA admixture results, because so many Northwestern European populations have a lot of shared ancestry. Tate, I'm looking for looking to find a family Bible for Broughton in Georgia. All right, yeah, I don't know where you'd go looking. I'm not someone that's really done a lot with family Bibles. The only time I've ever done anything with them is if I'm researching somebody else's tree, and there is a family Bible already there. I've never tried to track one down, so I wouldn't really have any good advice for that. So, but you might want to, find someone who has a lot of experience tracing a lot of, Christian families that would have family Bibles. Family Bible is not exactly a thing we have in Jewish families. But I mean, I've seen a lot of family Bibles. So, yeah. I guess the only advice I'd really have is just tracking down as many living relatives as you can and getting in touch and asking if they know about it. Because I know I discovered a ton of family stuff by contacting living relatives, and it was nonstop that I'd contact a relative and they would have photos or documents or just information on the family that I didn't have and nobody else had, just hiding in their basements or their attics or whatever. Jackson Jordan, when is the Ancestry update? I don't know. I want to say they said October, but I can't remember what they said versus 23andMe. But I'm pretty sure they're planning to release it pretty soon. So hopefully sooner than later. And I see Emily said October. So okay, so must have been October that I heard as well. Catherine Michael, hi. Sorry I'm late to the party. No problem. Good to see you, cousin. Glad you're here. Thank you for joining, as always. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's see. Let's jump to, all right, Burke. I think Family Search is not there yet for Balkans unless you are looking for someone Jewish. Yeah, I'm not quite sure with a lot of the Balkans what's available. The only things I really know that, I don't know, for me, I kind of don't consider it Balkans, but I think it is considered Balkans for a lot of people, are Moldova and Romania. For me, I guess I just think of it more as, it's part of the Pale settlement in Russia for the Jews. But I know that there's a lot of stuff on Jewish Gen for that. So kind of part of what you mentioned as well. But yeah, the Balkans, I'm not quite sure if there's I'm not quite sure what would be available for them. And I wonder how much it would differ from country to country, or if the whole Yugoslavia thing plays a role into, well, I'm sure it plays a role into the records there. So yeah, just don't have a lot of experience with it. PZ, I think a book about Sephardic ancestry would be good. Well, that's actually, I will say, one book that I've been writing for years that is something that's way too big a project than what I should have made, but it is basically, I wanted to make a book where I detail the entire Dutch Sephardic Nunes Vaz family of mine. So I think I could. I know I could. It's just, there's over 4,600 identified family members of that family, and there's more and more every day. And plus, I'd also want to actually do the Jamaican families, the Suriname family, and the Livorno family. And yeah, it's just such a big thing. So, yeah. Bonnie, hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Looking into a new family line that comes through my dad. For the 4 people on Ancestry through lines, my DNA centimorgans are higher than my dad's. Does that mean they also might match my mom? Yeah, I think that would certainly be possible. I think it also depends how much more you're matching than your dad. Just because I'd wonder if, if it's just a little bit more, like maybe within 10 centimorgans, I wonder if that could be more or possibly an anomaly. But if it's a large amount, I think that could be likely that you'd look at your mom and find them in her match list as well. One thing that I've definitely found after testing my parents and then getting my grandmother on my mom's side to test as well as getting a lot of aunts and uncles and all of them to test, was that it was not uncommon for me to have a DNA match that I shared more than my parents did, but then both of my parents shared DNA with them as well. So, I think it just really comes down to how much of a difference. So, oh yeah, that's a big difference. I'm double 21 versus 45. Yeah, that seems like it's a big difference. But one thing that I'm thinking of right now is that weighted or unweighted? Because when it comes to Ancestry, they have their timber algorithm. And the timber algorithm only comes in once you get to DNA matches that are 90 centimorgans or less. So when you look at the unweighted amounts, it might be that for some reason your dad's DNA, excuse me, I was trying to look back and see who tested, but it might be that your dad's DNA for some reason the timber algorithm affected it way more, but when you see the unweighted, he actually shares the same amount or more than you. So I don't know, but that it's not uncommon that I find, especially for Jewish results, just because of the endogamy. So 21 versus 45 certainly is big, but yeah, I'd be curious about the weighted versus unweighted. So yeah, very cool. And so cool to see you in here, Bonnie. Charles, my English and German keep flip-flopping each update. Not surprising. It's that Northwestern European region I always talk about. I'm curious to see if this next update will solve that. Yeah, this next update will be really interesting because that's one of the things that both companies have said they're focusing on is that Northwestern European group. Granted, I know we were all laughing about the fact that they kind of left Denmark off the map on 23andMe, but had Danish as one of the readings. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I think I heard with the most recent update with Ancestry, where they did get a lot more granular with the Northwestern European, that a decent amount of Northwestern European people found that it matched a lot better, but that there still was a lot of weirdness going on. But if they're doing this micro regions thing that they're talking about, and it's pretty successful, I think that'll be really cool to see, especially for a lot of groups like the Northwestern Europeans, Eastern Europeans. I don't know if those were on the list too, but just the groups where there's a large amount of them, but it's really hard to pinpoint the different groups. If that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that well. Hopefully I did. But yeah. Emilis, in an all Lithuanian family tree, I found German ancestry. My third great grandmother, Christina Shatner. Very cool. Now, with it being Lithuanian, did they come from a north eastern part of Germany that I guess is a little bit closer, like especially kind of if you're like Schleswig-Holstein region, like where I guess maybe they went over by boat or something? Or is it like a very different part of Germany? Like, like especially like Alsace-Lorraine, where it's like southwestern and like super far away. But I don't know, that's very cool. Very interesting. All right, let's see. I'm out of questions, so I'm going to see if I can kind of get some of these settings back to the way that I like it. So it's cool. They're adding in all this stuff for the program I use for live streaming, But oh my gosh, that is so frustrating when I came in and like my background was gone, the layout was gone. Like I was like, what is going on? And luckily it was still all in there. But yeah, let's see. Oh, do I still have the music playing? That's funny. Turn that off. There we go. Let's see. Oh, cool. I can do QR codes. Maybe I'll do that at some point. All right. So let's see. Berke, I'm searching for the German ancestor also. Was she a Volga Black Sea German? Interesting. Well, Volga Germans are the Germans that went to the Volga River, though. So, oh yeah, I guess. What am I thinking? Black Sea. That's the Black Sea. I was thinking the Baltic Sea. Okay, yeah. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Baltic Sea and Volga River, far from each other. Black Sea. Okay. So, yeah, interesting. Jamie Jewell, I have tons of endogamy in my tree. That is the hard part. Endogging me in my tree. That's funny. That's good. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think gets confused a lot when it comes to genetic genealogy is endogamy versus pedigree collapse versus double relationships. And I find a lot of times that people will call like pure pedigree collapse endogamy, when endogamy is a bit more of multiple or like many generations of pedigree collapse. So a lot of times if people like know they have a lot of pedigree collapse in their tree, they'll say something like that, like tons of endogamy in the tree. But endogamy would kind of just be like more of a coming from a population. But you can sometimes, if you have family trees where you can build them far back enough, you can see the endogamy. So like for my Dutch Jewish ancestry, whether it's Ashkenazi or Sephardi, a lot of those families can trace very easily back to the 1600s, sometimes even further into the 1500s and 1400s. And so once you trace back that far, and you start looking at how everybody is related to each other. So this is a big reason why I loved Genie so much, because put my Dutch tree on there and then I could see how I was related to everybody. And basically you start to find out that you're all related as, 10th cousins and 12th cousins and 11th cousins and 9th cousins and all these different distances, but multiple times in many, many ways. So just as an example, my cousin Catherine, who, here, I'll pull up her message to Bonnie. My cousin Catherine also comes from the Dutch Jewish families. And we know of like 3, 4, maybe probably even more ways that we're related. And those are just the ones we know about. And our closest relation is half fourth cousins once removed. I believe it is. So say that 3 times fast. Half fourth cousin once removed, half fourth cousin once removed, half fourth cousin once removed. But then we're also like 8th cousins, and then we're 10th cousins, and then we're 11th cousins. And so that's really what endogamy is, in a sense, is like all of this, like many, many generations of it, where if we could build pure family trees where we could see every ancestor of ours back to the 1500s, I imagine we could find at least a dozen different ways that we're related. And for the Dutch, and that's just the Dutch Jewish trees where we can see it. But then for like all of the Jewish family trees, especially the Eastern European Jewish families and all that, it gets crazy. And then when I spoke to Leo Cooper recently, who's one of the people that did research for the study on the Erfurt Jews, something that I know we've talked about a few times on here. So I'll put that study up here. Some of the stuff that they found basically told them that the bottleneck for the Ashkenazi Jewish population that they thought was, I think like the 1400s or so, is actually further back. Because they found these 33 Ashkenazi Jews who were alive sometime in the 14th century, and they looked very similar to present day Ashkenazi Jews, telling them that the Ashkenazi Jewish bottleneck was actually further back. And so one of the things they found with the endogamy was that endogamy caused the effect of that really far back founder population to kind of repeat itself. So basically the Jewish population stayed within marrying and having children with other Jews. And so that DNA just kept remixing, even at distant amounts. And so that's why we see this major similarity. So it's like, yeah, I guess they don't have any more of the images. There was one image. Oh yeah, maybe this is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, so this is what's known as a PCA plot point. And basically what they're doing is they're taking the individuals they're testing and then plotting them based on how they're reading the DNA. And so then you can see the similarities to different populations. And with this, I think I talked about this on another stream recently, but with this, you can see these red circles. Those are the Erfurt Ashkenazi Jews. So those were the Jews found that were alive in 14th century Erfurt. And then the green squares are modern Ashkenazi Jews. And notice how the modern Ashkenazi Jews fall right in the middle. And so that was kind of one of the things they found, was that the Ashkenazi Jews back in the 14th century, there was a little bit of diversity. And this is where it comes in here, where they had the two groups, the EU group and then the ME group. And what they found, let's see, can I back up a little bit? There we go. And what they found is that between these two groups, they cluster, but then the modern Ashkenazi Jewish groups fall in between those. So a lot of very interesting stuff that they found with that. But basically, it gives a really good view of the endogamy and how it affects things, causing this 11th century bottleneck to continue on for 1,000 years. Because, with these people having been alive in the 14th century, that tells us, their commonalities tell us further back. I did see Tay ask, what is this website? So I'm going to post this in the chat. And I know I miss a lot of things. I am going to answer Eve, especially because she's one of my YouTube members. I was concerned with the last Ancestry update showing my 94% English, showing Southwestern and Western England, when all my 31 out of 32 of my third great grandparents were born in Northwestern England. Oh, very interesting. So yeah, so giving you more of a Southwestern, but I guess interesting with the new update with the with the micro regions. I wonder if that will give you a better reading, and maybe it will adjust it. Because I mean, knowing it's 31 out of 32 were born in Northwestern England. They're giving Southwestern. At least it is Southwestern and Western. But I guess I don't know. Because if it's Northwestern and it's not, north enough, yeah. All right, so let's jump ahead. Catherine, at least with Dutch endogamy, there's a chance of sorting out some of the connections. Yeah, that's a big thing. being able to actually see it, use the records, and figure it out. Eve, I think the DNA is showing 1,000 years ago, with my knowledge of the Anglo-Saxon, Viking, Norman settlement pushing the Celts, Britain into Wales, Cornwall, etc. My journeys are more accurate. Okay. Yeah, so the my journey is the more granular reading. All right, so let's see. All right. See everyone talking to each other. So close that out. We'll keep that up. And then this is Leo Cooper. He's the one that I spoke to. He was at the IAJGS conference in Fort Wayne recently. That's where I got to talk to him. Oh yeah, I don't have a drink. Oh yeah, I need to. Okay, let's see. So, all right. So there's something I learned recently with the ads, and I need to start doing it. So we're gonna try it now. I wonder if this is gonna work. Well, we're gonna see. I'm gonna go grab a drink, but basically, I guess there's a way I can delay ads. So I'm gonna try doing that from now on. But then I can also insert ads. So I'm gonna insert an ad, grab a drink, and be right back in 30 seconds. So we're gonna see how this goes. All right. Let's see. Okay. How'd that work out? I don't know what it looked like. So hopefully that worked out. Now I'm gonna see delay ads. Okay, cool. So now it's gonna delay ads for everybody for 10 minutes. All right. I think this is gonna make a big difference for my streams because I know it's something I hate when I watch other people's streams. And when I talk to people who watch my streams, I know that's one thing that they're always like, can you control that? I recently learned how. So hopefully this is going to make a big difference for all of us. So yeah, give me thumbs up if it played an ad because I am curious. It didn't show me anything about playing an ad. I hit the button and I don't know. So all right, I'm gonna scroll back and see if there were any questions I might have missed. But of course, ask questions if you have any, or if there's anything you just want to chat about, uh, especially DNA wise, genealogy wise. Okay, Emilis, GeneaVlogger, you asked where in Germany. It is around Bubenheim by Trauchtlingen, but most Shatners then went to East Prussia. All right, so I do not know where those areas are, and I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation too badly. So let's see, where is it? Oh wow! So yeah, so it was like southeast or southwestern Germany. Okay, yeah. So interesting. Yeah, that's quite a ways to get to Lithuania. Um, so I wonder. Yeah, let's see. Adam, it didn't play an ad. Only showed screen. Stream will come soon. Oh, really? It didn't play an ad. Okay, that's hmm. I wonder if I'm gonna have to look into it. I wonder if it's like me telling it to put an ad in later. That's weird. But it allows me to pause ads. If anybody gets ads over the next 7 minutes, oh, okay, you have a YouTube subscription. My mom got ads. Okay, okay, yeah. So, all right. Okay. Got an ad, then once you're paid. Yeah. Basically, I put the, I'll be right back thing on. So it wasn't just like an empty chair. I know some streamers do that. And I know there are some streamers where their audiences will nickname their chairs. But I guess those are the people that like stream like all day, every day. They're like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So yeah. Well, we'll play around with it, but at the very least, hopefully this ad pausing thing will work really well. Because then I can, like, especially when there's something I really want to talk about and I don't want people to get ads, like, get cut out, I'll be able to pause it. But yeah, if anyone gets an ad before 4:45, let me know. Because then I need to really figure this out. So yeah. But okay, well, not seeing any questions right now. I'm seeing a lot of people chatting. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's any of my recent genealogy I can chat about. I was recently, and I guess the poll that'll be coming out next week will make sense with this. I was recently going through all of my grandparents and double checking that I had all of the information on their siblings, most especially my paternal grandfather, because he had at least two siblings. I'll share this. He had at least two siblings who died young or were stillborn. So yeah, so she was stillborn, and then this baby boy died at 3 days old. And neither of them were given names, or at least if they were given names, it wasn't put on the death certificate. So I think Family Search actually has the actual record, and I know that I put it on Genie, but yeah. Oh, John, hello. Hope you had a good birthday last week. I know you were celebrating and you popped in for a second. Be good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Yeah. Eve, without the Ancestry chromosome browser, if I have a group of matches that I know how they are related, and another group where some match the known group, if all matches share me on one segment, okay, and then there's something on the next post. Is it safe to say I can assume the same branch? So if I have a group of matches, I know how they're all related, and another group where some match the known group, if all matches share me on one segment. So basically, you have two clusters of matches. Some of the people in those clusters also match each other. But the people that are matching each other from both of those clusters share DNA with you on a specific segment. Like you're triangulating segments between you and people in both of these clusters. So with that information, you're asking, is it safe to assume that it's the same branch? So I think that's what you're. Let me know, Eve, if that's exactly what you're asking. But if so, I wouldn't necessarily say it's safe to assume that they are the same branch. I would say that the evidence seems to show that that is the most likely conclusion. I think it's just basing on the whole genealogical proof standard. I think you just still need to have the steps of having a more succinct proof. But it's very strong evidence. Like, I mean, it's, I guess I'd have to look and see exactly how many people are triangulating and how big of a segment and all of that sort of stuff. But I definitely would say that, that's pretty good evidence. I mean, that's kind of what you're always looking for, is that correlation of not just shared matching, but also triangulations on shared segments. So I'll keep an eye out if you update about that. And D. Lancaster, how do I find you at Roots Tech? So Roots Tech, the schedule is not out yet. In fact, just signed the contracts the other day for the talks I'll be doing. I don't know what's under embargo about to say yet or not. The only thing I know that I can say is really, registration's available. So I don't even know if I can, better safe than sorry sort of thing. But I guess I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably better safe than sorry. But at Roots Tech, the thing is you run into people. So I guarantee that if you are there and you're walking around, you'll run into me. Last year, I ran into Anna, Anna Tommaso, who I don't know if Anna's in here still. I think she said something about she had to go do something, but she's always in here for a lot of stuff. And I'm pretty sure I met a few other folks that are in the chat from time to time. People that watch my videos and here and there. And excuse me. But once the schedule does come out, you'll be able to see where I'll be giving talks and just in the expo hall. Yeah, you'll just walk around, you'll find so many different people. I will be media this year again, which probably means that whenever I'm like relaxing, I'll be at the media booth area. And then I'm also on the board of directors for the International Association of Jewish Genealogical Societies, and we will have a booth there as always. So I'll probably be at that booth for a little bit. And then, yeah. I mean, beyond that, as we get closer, I'll be able to say more. But yeah, definitely look into to checking out Roots Tech. It's a great time. Emilis, my grandfather got 1% Ashkenazi Jews. It's so random. I'm thinking it's just an error, but is it possible it's true? I mean, 1% is in a trace result range, but nowadays, when it comes to Jewish readings, there is a bit more confidence when it's these small amounts. 1% being a trace result doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means we have a very low confidence that it's true. But it certainly is possible. And there's a few ways to go about to see, what confidence you might have in that. For one, looking through his matches and seeing, are there any DNA matches to him that are 100% Jewish or, 99% or just, such a high percentage of Jewish that it would be, it'd be odd that, it's through a non-Jewish ancestry they're related. The other thing is looking at other matches of your grandfather and seeing, are there any specific branches of the family where you notice a lot of them are getting these small percentages as well. A great example of this, when I did the family tree for Matt Baker from Useful Charts, one of his family lines came from a Levy family who had supposedly gone from the US to Nova Scotia, and they had converted. So it was said that they were, originally a Jewish family. And if that were true, then we would possibly see some Jewish readings. But the last ancestor who was purely Jewish would have been sometime in the 1700s. And so when I looked at Matt, I can't remember if he had it, but basically a bunch of his cousins all had 1 or 2% Jewish. And on top of that, there were a lot of cousins of his who were descendant from that Levy family who were paternal descendants. So they still had the Levy name, and we could do Y-DNA testing. And just by looking at the 23andMe results, they were falling squarely in the expected Levy modal haplogroup. So what the Levy modal haplogroup is basically that they found that there are a ton of families where they have the Levy or Levin name. Actually, I don't think this is the one I was necessarily looking for, but it kind of goes into it. But basically, they found that they've had this shared Y chromosome ancestry. And so with this family being a Levy family in Canada and all of these cousins having these 1% and 2%, and then the Y-DNA matching into the Jewish lineage, not just a Jewish lineage, but the specific Levite modal haplogroup, or I think that's what it's called. I know it's the Cohen modal haplogroup. Maybe they don't call it Levy modal haplogroup, but either way, the concept is that we found that connection. So we weren't quite able to find a proof of connection to the family we thought it came from in New York. But we prove without a doubt that is a Jewish family with, the Y chromosome most specifically. But we could kind of tell already, we had a very high confidence because so many of those relatives had 1% and 2% and all of that. All right. So let's jump forward. Just Jules. I have a great-grandmother born before birth records. I can't find anything on her until she is married. Any tips? Now, when you say born before birth records, I'm assuming that you're saying this as born before birth records were available in the area that she was born. Hopefully this is not the preconceived notion of birth records ending it or starting at some point. But basically the thing to do is you need to look at your great-grandmother's life and try to figure out what is available that could help you to find more about her. So, let's see. I just saw come in North Carolina. Yes. So in North Carolina, not certain of her birth name. Basically, depending on when she lived, what you want to do is look up what records are available in North Carolina. Get as specific as you possibly can, town, county, all of that, see what records are available. And a great way to do that is just by the Family Search Wiki. So all I've done is I've gone into Google, typed North Carolina Family Search Wiki. And then this page was the first page to come up. So just to go back, North Carolina Family Search Wiki, and that brings that page. And then depending on where they are. So I'm in North Carolina as well. So let's say, I was looking at Ancestry in Wake County. So then we can see, okay, known beginning dates for government county records. And maybe there's records that might fall into place for this. Even more than we've got our towns. Now, one thing is, and this is what's here, sometimes they'll have towns and it'll just be links to Wikipedia, which that's the case here. And that's not really going to be helpful. But sometimes it'll be links to another page just like this that's on that specific town. And then there'll be more information on what's available, lists of records. And you just look for what might apply to your ancestor. And sometimes you need to think outside the box as well. What was going on at that time where there might be a record of your ancestor as part of that. On top of that, then you have all these different things that are available, like, societies, museums, libraries, family search centers. And then on top of all of that, one thing to do is scroll up to the tops of these pages and look for the blue button that's going to be online genealogy records. And when you click that, that'll take you to this page where it gives you a list of all the available records. And on top of that, here, I'm going to make it bigger so it's easier to see. You see, okay, so it's on Ancestry, and then we have this money sign, which means this website requires a paid subscription for full access. So here, Family Search, there's no money sign, so you don't have to pay to access it. Find My Past, you do have to have a subscription, so you'd have to pay for it. But it helps you find what is available. So that's a great way to get started and see what might be out there that you didn't even know existed. So yeah. All right, yeah, back to Eve. That's the question. But since there's no browser, but it's only one branch and only one segment. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing with Ancestry. If you want to use Chromosome Browser, you got to get other people to upload to a website that allows a Chromosome Browser. So yeah, it's a shame. Charles, I saw a few videos of people downplaying the accuracy of DNA tests, and I have no idea why. They seem to be pretty accurate to me. I think a lot of the people that downplay the accuracy of DNA tests are often not fully knowledgeable about the full scope of DNA tests. Sometimes you get people that are knowledgeable about DNA, but literally don't know the full scope. Great example, Dr. Mike. I did a reaction to his video about don't buy DNA tests. And all he did was hammer on how there were issues with the medical side of DNA testing. And like, yeah, I agreed with pretty much all of his points. But then he didn't explain any reasons why it is beneficial for genealogy or other things like that. And basically just telling people don't take DNA tests at all. And I thought it was a terrible take. My reaction, I go into that. And then he even commented on my reaction video. And then his comment was like even more disappointing. And there were even people that commented on his comment saying, you know, I really like your stuff, Dr. Mike, but this is a really disappointing comment. Unfortunately, that video didn't get a lot of traction, but that's a great example to me of just like, you know, a lot of people don't fully get the scope of these and will downplay the accuracy of the DNA test as a whole. But then even beyond something like that, then you just get a lot of people that just don't understand what's going on with these DNA tests. They take it, they don't realize what it's actually saying and say that it's wrong. And then more than anything, a lot of people that just don't even understand the capabilities that we have with DNA tests, with the DNA matches, and how that really is extremely accurate. You get someone where you're sharing DNA with them, you have a very high confidence that that is true. The percentages of you're this percentage English, this percentage German, this percentage Dutch, whatever, that's not quite as accurate. It still is, you know, I mean, accurate's a hard term to use when you start talking statistical analyses, but it still has some validity to it. It's not just gobbledygook. And it's something I talk about all the time on this channel about how you need to interpret those things properly, and people don't know how to interpret properly, and then they think it's inaccurate. And yeah, I mean, there's so many videos I did reactions to of people doing DNA tests, getting it completely wrong and what it's actually saying, and then ending the video about, well, that was stupid, that was dumb, that didn't tell me anything. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much you missed. So yeah, it's unfortunate. Anna, still here. Can't make it this year due to medical stuff, but I'm doing virtual. Well, I'm glad you're able to do virtual. And I guess a little hint, I'll be seeing people virtually there. But I will be there in person. Yeah. D. Lancaster, thanks. I didn't realize you were doing a talk. I'll look for you on the schedule. Yeah. Yeah, who in the chat signed up? I'm curious. All right, how far back am I? Oh, I'm not too far back. John, you're not signed up yet, but we'll virtually. That's good. All right, Burke. To put it in a nutshell, triangulation cluster, which includes around 12 to 13 people, but triangulation is 10 centimorgans. I share 25 to 50 DNA matches with these people. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you get to that point of that really small matching, it's hard to figure out what you can be confident in. I haven't done a whole lot of playing around with the small segments to really, you know, be able to give good advice here, I guess. You know, I mean, it certainly does show some confidence, in my opinion, when you do have these clusterings of, you know, even 10 centimorgan segments, or basically, you know, you find a triangulated segment. And I guess, you know, share 25 to 50 DNA matches with these people. That's kind of a small amount to have as a shared match list. But then again, I guess shared match list will differ with each different population groups. I'm thinking of the Jewish ones, but yeah, interesting. I mean, just keep plugging along. So hopefully, yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. I'm answering stuff from like 10 minutes ago. All right, let's see. I might jump forward then. Yeah, 04 Lightning fan. If you don't have a maiden name, friends, associates, neighbors, fan club, yeah, that's a really good way to do research. This is into Just Jules' question, I think. about finding her great-grandmother. She doesn't know her maiden name. So yeah, friends, associates, neighbors, you may be able to find the maiden name that way. So, all right. Oh, just got an ad, and that was at 4:54. Okay, so that should be fine because at that point the ad pause thing. Oh, it plays an ad. Wait, I don't know. I'm gonna need to keep track of this thing. It is. I'm gonna keep track of that. All right. So let's see. When's it counting down? 5 minutes. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that ad thing. Is the video playing? I'm not sure what video ad. All right. Yes. If you got ad, clip on skip. Okay, yeah. Okay. So what it must have done when I paused the ads, it did a 10-minute countdown for me. And I guess at the end of the 10-minute countdown, it must have given everybody an ad because no, 4:54. No, it would have been later than that. Yeah, weird. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know. I need to keep an eye on this. Everybody's getting an ad right now. All right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, not complaining, just bragging, making everybody jealous. So yeah, I don't know. I get anyone with a YouTube subscription wouldn't get any ads. So yeah, weird. I guess and right on 5 o'clock. I noticed a lot at 4:54, and a lot at 5 o'clock. Interesting. Screen froze. I wonder, sometimes when ads come on for me, when I had slower internet, it would freeze, the video, and that would be an issue. Yeah. Yeah. Any of the YouTube subscribers, the people that do YouTube Premium, yeah, you don't get any ads. No ads. No ads for you. No ads for you. So yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. AT Goldsmith, I literally just joined and bang, immediate ad after seeing you for a couple of seconds. Yeah, that was the thing I was worried about with playing with these things that I looked into it and they make it so confusing. I don't know if I need to change settings on the back end of things or whatnot, but yeah, because it has this resume ads. Actually, I wonder if I can show this. Does it have any? I need to double check. It doesn't show anything. Yeah, so all right, I'm going to show everyone so you can see it. So basically, it's up here is this like pause ads thing, and so that's what I hit. Huh. What is going on? All right. So this pause ads thing, and then this timer came up, but then I don't know. That's so weird. We're all learning together. We're all learning together. All right, I'm putting this back over on my non-shared side and making it one thing after streams. Every website I go to, I have to recalibrate the size of it because I make everything large so you all can read it easily on stream. Douglas Huseman, at the time, nothing was happening or playing, but chat was scrolling. Huh. Yeah. Michael Gallardi. Hey, Jarrett, love your videos, my dude. My grandfather's mom could be either the older or younger sister of Italian immigrants in Chicago. With no other kids for DNA, any particular strategies? Oof. Yeah, that's tough. The thing you want to do is, if you can't find close relatives, I guess, so the thing you'd want to prove that it's your grandmother's mom or your grandfather's mom or their family, you'd want other descendants. But the next best thing is just try to go a little bit further out in the family. So if you have this family of Italian immigrants that you know about, then see what's the next generation back. Were there any siblings who had descendants as well? And then trace that down. So basically just, get as good of an idea as you possibly can. But sometimes if the people aren't there to do the DNA testing, then you kind of get stuck, unfortunately. But yeah, so okay, so you're talking grandfather's mom. I don't know why I keep saying grandmother. Your grandfather's mom could be either the older or younger sister of Italian immigrants. So basically, you have these Italian immigrants. You think your great grandmother might be their sibling. And so with these Italian immigrants, they didn't have any kids for DNA, but can you identify their parents? And did any of their parents have siblings? So, all right, yeah, to your point, I can verify the next generation back on both sides. It may just be some guesses. Yeah. And that's one of the things when it comes to genetic genealogy is you have to make those guesses, and then you use the DNA to prove or disprove that hypothesis. But unfortunately with DNA, as a lot of us run into, is you get the results back and sometimes it doesn't really prove it or disprove it. It just kind of pushes the confidence one way or the other. And, it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate with that, but sometimes that's just how it is. The next best thing, I guess, is trying to think of it, your grandfather's mom. So I guess, did your grandfather have any sisters? And if so, well, actually, first off, is your grandfather available to do mitochondrial DNA testing? If not, does your grandfather have any sisters who had children? Because then they would have the same mitochondrial, or sisters or any siblings of your grandfather that are available to DNA test. Because then with the mitochondrial DNA, then maybe you can match it up that way. And that can give you another lane of confidence to have with it. So, yeah. So, oh, wow. An ad came in for you and I have it and it should be paused. Yeah, I'm really going to have to look into that thing. I was so happy when I learned about it. I was like, oh, I can finally control this a little bit, but guess not. Yeah. Yeah. Are the ads at least good? That's a good question, Sebastian. Oh, interesting. Thank you for the advice. Ancestry's portal is the best website for Italian genealogy. Yeah. I wonder if that was the website that, oh, you okay, Petey? My dog's having a dream. You having a nightmare, little dude? You're okay. You're a little good dog. All right. Yeah, I wonder if that's the website that Alex Calzareth told me about. Very cool. Yeah. All right. And try Portale Antonati for Italian documents. Do you know where in Italy? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. We have answers to that. Yeah, when it comes to my Italian research knowledge, it's all Tuscany. That's it. I know. And even beyond that, it's not even Tuscany as a whole. It's really Livorno, Firenze. That's about it. The rest of Italy, no clue. The only thing I know is that it is very different based on regions. And if you know the history of Italy and how Italy really hasn't been Italy, for that long as we know it. Yeah, it makes a big difference. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to jump ahead. Interesting. Burke, after watching your videos, I view it differently. Now I think my Italian percentage is probably Greek because I have almost no Italian DNA matches. Yeah, that's I think that's one of the best ways to figure out if a reading really is true, especially one that you weren't expecting to get. So you get Italian reading and you're not seeing any Italian matches, but you're seeing a lot of Greek DNA matches. That's a good hint that, okay, whatever they're reading is Italian, most likely is actually Greek. And then it makes sense when you know, oh yeah, that connection through the Mediterranean. Yeah, Michael, no half siblings that I know of for either side. Thanks again. May have to sign up for your consulting. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully you can figure things out, but definitely check out my consulting stuff. And great place to mention, I do consulting for anyone that wants professional help, especially someone that likes to do research, but you just want someone to kind of sit down with you for a half hour, an hour, and just go through things and give you advice on which way to go. Hit me up. My email is GeneaVlogger@gmail.com. I'm going to put that in chat. Yeah, definitely hit me up if anyone's interested in doing in doing consultations. But yeah. All right, let's see. Oh, we've got another vote for Antonati. Raekwon Kelly, is there a more excellent DNA test company for Black Americans? Now, Matt Baker of Useful Charts did a video with Jabari Walker of the channel From Nothing. Great channel to check out on African history if you've never seen it, From Nothing. And he had Jabari do a bunch of different DNA tests from different sites to answer that question. In my opinion, I really think it's Ancestry. Ancestry, for one, has the best tools when it comes to a lot of the genealogy, the genetic genealogy stuff. MyHeritage, honestly, is a little bit better with that, but I think you're going to find a lot more Black Americans on Ancestry, and even more, you're going to find a lot more people who have African ancestry as a whole. Because you might have, I mean, it's not uncommon for people who have or ancestors who are enslaved that they then find out that, oh, actually, my ancestors weren't in the U.S. originally. They came from, the Dominican Republic, or they came from Jamaica or Suriname, or somewhere that anywhere across the Caribbean, or even Afro-Caribbean ancestry. Latino ancestry, just different stuff. It can pop up in there. And so Ancestry is probably your best route, but in all reality, the best thing to do is to get on every website you possibly can. The more websites you're on, the more databases you're on, the more likely you're going to find DNA matches that are going to help you figure out your family tree. Now, when it comes to the admixture percentages, which I know is a big thing for a lot of people who have, are Black Americans, because, it is really hard to trace that far back. And so with the admixtures, I don't really have one that I point out as a specific one that is better than others. The only thing I really point out is that with living DNA, they do have a very granular reading on Africa. Basically, they get very micro regions. I'm trying to think if there's any others that do really well with that. I know a lot. That's a big place that a lot of the DNA companies are trying to get better, is with their African admixture readings. But Ancestry honestly does a pretty good job, and I think Ancestry is even pushed to make it where they're doing like tribal readings, and trying to get it not just by country, but a more specific sort of thing. Especially something that makes more sense with African history. Now, beyond that, Y-DNA testing and mitochondrial DNA testing through Family Tree DNA, that's a great option as well. The only thing is, you never know if your Y-DNA, your purely paternal line, or your mitochondrial DNA, your purely maternal line, if that's going to be European or African. But I would imagine one of those probably is, but it's not uncommon for it not to be. So really, I guess it really just comes down to, I think Ancestry is your best bet. And I've been using Ancestry recently on some really in-depth research I've been doing for Jabari Walker on an episode that I am currently in the process of editing. I've been trying to get it out for like a month. I've been working on this, just the editing part sort of thing. I've been working on for a month. I've been trying so hard to get it done because there's so many little pieces of it that as I go through, I need to check every little bit. And then there's stuff that I'm discovering, and it's quite an amazing story and quite an amazing set of records that I've been able to go through. And I've been utilizing DNA, and Ancestry is the place that I've been doing more of that than anything. But I have Jabari's DNA results on multiple sites, in part thanks to when he did that thing with Matt Baker from Useful Charts. All right, I'm rambling. I think I answered the question. 04 Lightning fan. Hey, Jared, I noticed something new on Family Search. I selected an image. There's a button, search full text. Oh, okay. So I wonder if they finally did the search full text and took it out of the experiments. So basically, let's see. I'm going to have to log in. Family Search has this thing they call their Family Search Lab. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm good with this. All right. So when you go in, this is just the homepage, Family Search. I'm logged in, and down in Family Search Labs, they have their experiments, and the full text search has been under experiments, but I guess maybe it's not there. And okay, so I guess it's rolled out. I guess it's out of the experimental stage, and now it's full on. So yeah, because here I'll bring up one here. Actually, eCoff, and we'll do fine. Okay, stop telling me to refresh. All right, so yeah, here, index to mortgages. So I'm just pulling up mortgage stuff. So this is my second great-grandfather, Marcus Ecoff, and him April 27th. What year is this? 1898. Oh, 1899. So April 27th, 1899. Pittsgrove Township in New Jersey. And this is canceled. So, yeah. So, but that's a very basic way of using full text search. So, what's something I could do with full text search? Like, I don't know. I can't think of anything. maybe someone will have a question that'll be good to answer there. Oh, first time seeing this. Yeah. I mean, it's been under the experiments or the lab, the labs page that I showed before. So just go to the Family Search, view experiments. So it's experiments in the Family Search Labs. And so then they have different stuff. So improved English jurisdictions, grow your tree with AI Research Assistant. So let's see. AI Research Assistant. Interesting. I haven't done this one. Okay. So this is an assistant for building in the family tree. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Maybe Maybe it's more than that. All right, so try it. Oh wait, what was it? What was it saying back there? All right, show me the tour. Show me the tour. Show us all the tour. Select a found name. Okay. Okay, so it's an assistant for the family for family searches family tree. All right, yeah, help me find whatever. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Ask your own question down there. Can you help me find her parents? All right, yeah. All right. So all right, let's continue on. Oh, congratulations, Next Lifetime. Just had a huge breakthrough with Family Search. And Antanati yesterday found 7 new first cousins and my grandma, but they were born 40 plus years before her. Wow. Yeah. Big age gap. Oh, Emilis, you've been gone for 11 minutes, but goodbye. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining earlier. Let's see. Oh, Just Jules, how much for consultation? So I prefer not to say often on stream, partially just because I don't want to say it and then someone comes and emails me later on and I've changed the pricing and they're like, but you said this. So I'm going to say this now for, at this current moment, if you email me today, what I would say is it's $75 for a half an hour consultation, $125 for a full hour. But if you are watching this in the future, I don't know if it could be a few weeks from now, it could be months from now, it could be years from now. I don't know. It might have changed. So just want to state that. But that's, if anyone ever wonders, why I don't put that out. Like I made like a poster at one point and I put that out there and it has that pricing on there. But if I ever change it, I'll have to take that down. But that's one reason why I don't say it in the streams. I will say I do still have it set up and I might need to change it. I don't know. I need to figure it out. I do still have it up where you can go onto my Patreon and you can get consultations that way. Although instead of 30 minutes in an hour, it's 20 minutes or 40 minutes, I believe. But that's a great way if you want to do one consistently a month. That way you can kind of have it where, each month that you're already got the payment set up and you can just have it go through. Yeah. I don't know if anyone has any more questions about it, just ask me. I'm happy to answer, So, all right. Let's jump forward because I noticed I'm far back there. Yeah. I get this a lot. I like those kind of rambling answers. It helps me understand more. So thank you. My pleasure. I do get people that say that a lot when I ramble. I'm always like, I'm rambling now. And I always feel like I'm rambling and that's when I'm going to lose people the most. But I get a lot of comments like that. Like, that's the best part. So I guess I should rambling. I should be a rambling man. Okay. Yeah. Full. It's full. It's out of the labs. It's now available. All right. Let's see. Raekwon, for consultation that you do you go over our own research that we already have, or is it something else you do? No, I go over your research. So basically it's kind of like it's your time to ask for my help. So I've had some people where they have a very specific, like, I found these DNA matches and they look like they mean something, but I don't know what to do from here. I've had other people that are like, I've come up with this hypothesis and I just want a second pair of eyes. I've had other people where it's just, here's my family tree. I have no idea where to go next for this branch or that branch or whatever. And sometimes it's people asking me to help them learn how to understand the shared match tool or how to do DNA painting or visual phasing or things like that. So it's kind of, it's your time to ask whatever questions you want. So very similar to what I do here. It's just you get my full attention. So yeah. hopefully that helps answer that. Albuquerque, I've been using search full text and it works fantastically to find names in probate records. Agreed. That's the one place I've found that it works better than anything. And it's also been helpful in finding older naturalization records when the records were based by counties. I forgot when that was, 1800 something, but I found that I've been getting a lot of really good naturalization records that way too. Wish between Ancestry and Family Search you could pull up and offer fixes on some of the outlandish AI errors. Yeah, I wish so too. I think some of the sites usually have some sort of button. I know ChatGPT does, where you can give feedback, and I know they really like that because they can then use that to train the model more. But yeah. Dive Bomb DRG, full text search has been a godsend for me ever since I first heard of it. I've managed to find a ton of records through it. Highly recommend. Agreed. Highly agreed. Michael, I didn't realize the consultations were different. Might have to take advantage of my Patreon membership then. Yeah. With the Patreon membership, with the consultations, it's like the higher tier ones. So I have, for those who don't know, actually, that's another great thing. I have a Patreon where I try to post early access stuff. I'll post updates about research I've been doing. So like I've been posting updates about the research on the upcoming video on Jabari's family, lots of different stuff that I do there. One thing I need to do that I've talked about, and I was like, okay, I need to actually go through with it, is doing a YouTube members and a Patreon patrons only live stream. I do also have a special chat area in my Discord for people that do Patreon and all that. And it really helps support the channel. So there's Patreon memberships as low as $1, and then it goes up from there depending on what you get. So it really helps me out in being able to keep doing this. So don't mind my rambling. Thank you. I'll just keep rambling and rambling. Yeah, I need one thing. I know a lot of times I only do like hour-long streams, sometimes longer. Today, obviously, is a longer one. But I see a lot of streamers, who will do 3-4 hours. But these are also, people that stream a lot, or like even full-time streamers. And I've thought about trying something like that at some point. Not like a common thing. I definitely don't think I could do it every week, but something outside of Friday where I do like 4 or 5 hours and like have something very specific I'm trying to do or something. I don't know. But I one thing I'm definitely planning to do, I'm trying to do more streams with other people coming on as guests. I think that I've had a lot of fun with a lot of those. So all right, more not right minding my rambling man, because I'm a rambling man. Bear Var, good evening. Glad that helped answer. Bear Var, realize ChatGPT is still pretty useless for non-Latin script like Cyrillic, reverted transcribus, who does a better job. Yeah, I will say the last live stream, or maybe the one before it, someone was saying something about going to ChatGPT to do transcriptions, and I was like, no, Transcribus is way better in my opinion. And then someone tried ChatGPT, and they're like, oh, it worked great. And I've tried ChatGPT a couple of times over the past few weeks, and I will say I've been pretty impressed by it. Now, I haven't tried anything Cyrillic, but it's been pretty amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I ChatGPT, and just like all AI, I think the biggest issue that comes about with it is just people that don't understand its limitations, trying to do things with it that it's not good for, and then being like, well, it didn't do this. And I feel like so much of it is just bound up in the whole concept of AI from like Hollywood movies and all of that. It's like people think AI and they think like Terminators and like, taking over the world, or like, the end of Silicon Valley, where it's like, this AI will take over everything. And, it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy sometimes, in my opinion. You know, how people will take something and then just like completely misunderstand it. And AI definitely feels like a big part of that. But you know, it definitely has a lot of uses. The biggest thing is you just have to use it properly. Yeah. So yeah, Michael, if you're a regular user of ChatGPT for other stuff and haven't tried it already, try deep research for targeted ancestry research and or contextual storytelling. So yeah, deep research, you're talking about one of the what do they call those? I want to say it's called a model. I guess they just call it a GPT. Research. So I believe, is this it? No, I don't think that's it. Maybe it's a different deep research. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe clarify. Yeah. Yeah, Albuquerque. I like when you ramble. It helps me focus when I'm working on my genealogy. I know it sounds weird, but that's ADHD. All right. Yeah, I need to just ramble more. I need to just ramble more. So let's see. Eve, don't like AI. I work at home from a call center. Listens to my calls. No more cussing at my clients. That's funny. I didn't even think about that. That's good. Oh, there's deep research on Microsoft Copilot. Okay, yeah, I wonder if that's what he meant, because I was thinking it was one of the GPTs on Chat GPT that I just, might not have been familiar with. Because like I use on Chat GPT, they have Family Tree Expert. They have one called Genealogy Eyes, and that one's by Steve Little. And I'm not bringing up my Chat GPT just because on the left, my chat list has, stuff about upcoming stuff that I don't want to put out there necessarily, because I do use ChatGPT for I use it for workflow. It's good for workflow. But yeah, Genealogy Eyes, look at images, photos, and documents through the eyes of a family historian. Take a snapshot of a cemetery, headstone, document, record, or anything else, and using the official ChatGPT app, upload the image, say a little about the image and what you want, and click send. And then it has pre-done things, what genealogical insights does this document hold? Can you analyze the history in this picture? What can you tell me about this image? How does this image reflect family history? Yeah. But they have a lot of different ones. And then, you know what I can bring? Steve Little, AI genealogy, AI genealogy insights. This is Steve Little's website. Amazing website for anyone that wants to really get into how to utilize AI for genealogy. And so then there's the genealogy bots. I guess that's what he calls them. And so here, there's a whole list of them. So the one that I was just talking about was this Genealogy Eyes. There's the Dutch genealogy bot, which Yvette Hoytink came up with. Genealogy Summarizer is one that I've used. It's pretty decent, just summarizing a document really quickly. Bunch of these that I haven't used before: Lingua Maven, Linguistic Expert. Yeah, and so basically, there's ways that you can train your own Chat GPT bots, and that's what these are. So you can see, who's done it. So AI Genealogy Insights, I believe those are all Steve Little, or it might also be Mark Thompson. I'm not 100% sure, but then we see David McCorkle, Dutch Genealogy Services, which is Yvette's website. I guess those are it. But yeah, there's a lot of different possible things you can do, and then there's use cases, and yeah, AI can be a lot more robust for genealogy than a lot of people realize. So, yeah, there's a GPT setting called Deep Research 2, but the 5 updates did change some stuff. Haven't used Copilot, but great point. So, all right. Well, we've talked about some interesting things today, as always. Just to mention again, for anyone that is interested in getting consultations, all you have to do is send me an email at GeneaVlogger@gmail.com, spelled just like it is on the screen here, GeneaVlogger, GeneaVlogger. Also, my Patreon, there's the options for that. But lots of stuff for Patreon. Check that out. Also, I have YouTube members, which Eve is one of my YouTube members. So you can see this little symbol right next to her name. She also gets special emojis for being a member. So I've noticed she's used them a few times in chats, especially the little genie trees. But then also for YouTube members, you get some other stuff as well. And it all helps support me being able to do this. I mean, it really does help out when people do that. So, yeah, I think with that, I'm going to call it for today. I really appreciate everyone being here. I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't. And after this video, go check out one of my videos. What video should I tell? That was something that I was always planning to do, and then I never did. I'm gonna come up with a video of mine that's like an older video that I really like. That I'm gonna say, hey, everyone, go check that out. Let's see, what's a good one? Because especially assuming like people that maybe actually, you know what, perfect one. I'm going to post the first episode I did on Jabari's Ancestry because we did talk about that. Yeah, there we go. There we go, Eve, showing off. So here's that video to go check out, and that's going to be on Jabari Walker's Gullah Geechee Ancestry, and then that'll get everybody all hyped up as well for the new episode coming out on Jabari's Ancestry, hopefully sometime this week. But yeah, so thank you, everybody. Tot volgende week. Where'd my Christian go? There we go. Yeah. Thank you all. And I will see you next Friday, 4:00 Eastern. I think it's pretty confident now that I'm staying consistent with 4:00 on Fridays. So I'll see you all next week.